Hello folks, I've been doing something a bit different over the weekend. This painting behind me has been in our kitchen for the last few months and I'm going to put it in my exhibition. But we've really got attached to it, so I thought, well, if I sell it, I really don't want a great big blank space in our kitchen. So I embarked on something I don't very often do, which is to make a copy of a painting. And it's been a really interesting process. I never try and make the same painting twice, and I'm beginning to wonder whether that's a mistake. Let me tell you why. I'm not formally trained as an artist, but I do have an Art A-level, which is a sort of high school diploma, I suppose. And when I was doing my Art A-level when I was 18, I had a fantastic teacher, and she did used to get quite exasperated with me because I just wasn't interested in iteration. And really, I'm still not that interested now. I have an idea, I think about how I can make it, and I move on. Whereas she would have encouraged me to have worked in a sketchbook, worked up ideas, perhaps make small versions of a final piece, and then once I was really happy, execute that final piece. And yeah, I'm embarrassed to say that this has never been my shtick. But I think maybe I've been missing out. The great thing about having an idea and making a painting is that yes, you do make very diverse paintings, and I think possibly that's quite good, or certainly I say to myself that that's quite good commercially. But I think that there is a lot that I'm missing. Firstly, I think it's a problem because I think there's a missed opportunity for learning, that when we keep working over an idea and iterating, things appear and make themselves apparent that we weren't aware of. And whilst I set out for this painting to be a copy of that painting, as I do it I realise how much my skills have changed in the last year or so, but also how it could have been different the first time, and there are things here that I like more, and then I'm leaning into that. The second thing is that just painting one painting at a time, I think that's got quite a high inspiration cost, shall we say. I often think that I'm not very efficient at paintings because I spend a lot of time going out into the countryside to get an idea, and that's quite a high cost exercise. It's quite a lot of time, it's quite a big endeavour, it's quite a lot of energy, and I sometimes feel the pressure of that because I'm wanting to paint, but I can't paint because I've not got that kernel of an idea. And that seems a bit mad now I think about it, because really, I love painting once I've started, but I'm creating quite a high bar to entry, and I'm sure I'm not alone, and you'd have heard this many times, but starting is so much of the key. So perhaps just kind of not worrying about what the idea is and just getting started and getting into the flow is a good way to do things. And that kind of leads me on to the third point, and that is that by always waiting to paint, I really feel I'm missing out on the best bit of being an artist. For me, the whole joy of this is, yes, having an idea I want to realise creatively, but actually more importantly, it's about getting into this really lovely state of flow where I'm absorbed by the work, and it's a rare thing. I think the essence of this is basically making it all a bit too much of a job, which is ironic because I do want this to be my job and I want to be commercially successful, or at the very least commercially viable. But by getting too tied up with productivity, I think you lose the essence of what it is to be a creative person and to make nice art, good art, because that has to come from a place of involvement, enjoyment, being wrapped up in the work, and that's one to keep an eye on, I think, because it's easy to lose sight of that. So here's the thing about painting like this, is it's actually really relaxing. And the truth is that quite often when I'm painting, I don't find it relaxing at all, because I feel there's quite high jeopardy creatively that I'm trying to make something work, and because I'm, well, as I've said, making it up as I go along, I'm never quite sure how it's going to go, and that's quite stressful, because I do want to fulfill the idea that I have in my head and make something I like. As much as I know it's good to be free and just in the moment, I am interested in making art I like. I can't really deny that. But painting like this, yeah, it's zen, because I've got the roadmap and I can just enjoy the process and the physicality of whacking on the paint. So yeah, a good lesson there, and a mistake I think I'm going to try and avoid in the future. Okay. I realise that I can't just endlessly forge copies of my own work. But I'm beginning to think that when I've got a good composition, there's an opportunity here to develop it into a series. I had a lovely summery walk earlier in the month and got a lot of great inspiration. So now I'm working on a number of paintings from that day. And it is really useful because you find that the same colours and values repeat themselves. And once you've kind of cracked the formula, you can keep going, repeating and varying, a bit like a musician playing variations on an original theme. It really feels like you're getting some momentum. Incidentally, I've been making some greeting cards for the exhibition. I thought that one of these views would make a good summer greetings card. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments, and whichever one gets the most votes, I'll make available as a card. It feels very tricky to guess what people like, so I really appreciate your input. Anyway, that's all for the day. Thanks so much for joining me. See you next time.